Hi, my dear friend. I'm so glad you pressed play today. It's not always easy to show up for yourself, to choose learning, to choose growth, especially when your heart feels tired or your mind is filled with doubt, but you're here. And that matters. This is Quick Fix English, and today, I want to walk with you through something that so many people feel, but rarely talk about: the fear of speaking English. You're not alone if this fear has ever lived in your chest. It's quiet sometimes, hiding beneath a smile when someone speaks too fast, holding your tongue when you want to raise your hand, freezing your voice when all you want is to connect. Maybe you've said to yourself, I'll speak when I'm more confident. I don't want to sound stupid. What if they don't understand me? Let me tell you something gently, lovingly, truthfully. You are not stupid. You are not too late. You are not alone. You are someone who cares. And that's why you're afraid, because only people who care about connection, about growth, about understanding feel fear when they might fall short. Let me introduce you to someone who reminds me of you. His name is Luis. Luis moved from Mexico to Ireland to study. He was kind, bright, thoughtful, and completely silent in class. He knew English. He passed his exams. But when it came to speaking, he said he felt like he was disappearing. One day, a teacher asked a question. Luis knew the answer. He wanted to speak. His heart raced. But when he opened his mouth, nothing came out. After class, he cried. He said, I feel like I'm locking myself inside. That moment stayed with him. And with me. Because so many of us are holding back, not because we don't know, but because we're afraid of being seen in our learning. But Luis did something brave. He didn't wait to become fluent. He didn't wait for confidence. He made a decision: I'll speak afraid. He joined a speaking club. The first time, he barely whispered. The second time, he introduced himself. By the fourth week, he was laughing, messy grammar, thick accent, big smile. And the best part, he wasn't perfect, but he was real. His voice came back not all at once, but in pieces. And every piece was worth it. So today, I invite you to do the same. Don't wait until the fear disappears. Speak with the fear. Speak softly. If that's all you can do, whisper. If your voice trembles, stumble and smile and keep going. Because speaking isn't about sounding perfect. It's about being present, right here, right now. Thank you for choosing to be here. In the next part, we'll look at where this fear begins, how small moments from the past shape the silence we carry now, and how we can start rewriting the story. But for now, just breathe. Your voice is not broken. It's waiting to be heard, and I believe in it. I believe in you. Let's go deeper now. Have you ever wondered where your fear of speaking English truly began? It didn't just appear one day out of nowhere. No, it grew slowly, from small, painful moments. Maybe someone laughed when you tried to pronounce something. Maybe a teacher corrected you too harshly. Maybe you stayed quiet once and people kept talking over you. And from that moment on, you began to believe something. You believed that silence was safer than trying, that hiding was better than stumbling, that your voice didn't belong. But I want to remind you of something today. You weren't wrong for trying. They were wrong for making you feel ashamed, because shame is what locks the door. It tells you, if you speak, they'll judge you. It whispers, if you try, you'll fail. It says, better to be quiet than to be embarrassed. But shame is a liar, and your voice deserves more than silence. Let me share with you a moment from someone we'll call Sarah. Sarah was from Vietnam, working in customer service in Australia. Her English was strong, but she almost never spoke unless necessary. Why? Because 5 years ago, she mispronounced the word beach in a conversation and someone laughed. That laugh followed her like a shadow. So she made a rule: only speak when absolutely sure. The problem is that rule kept her small. So one day, in a session we had together, I asked her to try saying beach out loud 10 times. She hesitated. Then she laughed. Then she tried beach, beach, beach. By the 5th time, She was smiling, not because it was perfect, but because she stopped letting the past have so much power. That's what this part is about. Taking your power back. The world may have given you reasons to be afraid, but now you get to choose something different. You get to say, I'm allowed to be imperfect. I'm allowed to learn out loud. I'm allowed to take up space. Because healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments like this where you show up again with your heart still open, even after being hurt. So maybe today you whisper something that once scared you. Maybe you say a word out loud that you've avoided. Maybe you forgive the version of you that once froze. That's progress. Not loud, not dramatic, just gentle, real, yours. Thank you for being brave enough to go here with me. Next, we'll talk about the idea of giving yourself permission, not waiting for perfection or permission from the outside world, but learning to say, I'm ready, as I am. But for now, put your hand over your heart and say softly, I still belong, because you do. Let's talk about something powerful today, permission. You may not realize it, but a part of you is still waiting for someone to say, it's okay now. You can speak, waiting for the moment you feel ready, waiting for the fear to leave. But here's the truth. You don't need anyone's permission, not your old teachers, not your classmates, not even your own fears. You get to give it to yourself. Let me tell you about Nina. Nina was from Germany. She worked as a designer in the Netherlands. Her boss spoke English. Her team spoke English. But every time Nina opened her mouth, she second-guessed everything. Is my grammar right? Do I sound professional? Will they take me seriously? So most days, she stayed silent. Until one morning, she came to a session with tears in her eyes and said, I feel like I'm disappearing in my own life. We sat in silence for a while. Then I asked her something simple. What would happen if you gave yourself permission to be enough? She laughed nervously. Then she said, I don't know how. That day, we wrote a permission slip together. Yes, like a real slip of paper. It said, I, Nina, give myself permission to speak without apology. I don't need to be perfect. I only need to be present. My voice matters, exactly as it is. She kept that note in her wallet. The next time she had to present a design idea, she read it before the meeting. Her hands shook, her voice trembled, but she spoke. And her team, they listened, they nodded, they asked questions, and Nina didn't disappear. She began to exist in her own story again. I want that for you too. So here's your invitation. Write your own permission slip. Say it out loud if you can. I give myself permission to speak. I don't need to wait anymore. Because the truth is, confidence comes after. You act, not before. We often imagine confident people are fearless, but most of the time, they're just people who decided, even with fear, I'll show up. So, what would happen if today you did too, even just a little? Maybe you try ordering your coffee in English. Maybe you ask a small question in class. Maybe you record a voice note to yourself, just for practice. Whatever it is, let it be real. Let it be yours. You don't have to be loud. You just have to be here. That's the only permission you ever needed. Next, we'll talk about something many learners avoid but need to hear what to do when you make mistakes. Not if, but when. And how those mistakes are part of the magic. But for now, I'm proud of you. And I hope, just a little, you're proud of you too. Let's talk about mistakes. Yes, those small, awkward, sometimes embarrassing moments we try so hard to avoid. What if I told you, mistakes are not the enemy, that they're not signs of failure, but signs that you're learning? Because here's the truth, you cannot grow in silence. You cannot improve by hiding. And you definitely cannot become confident by being invisible. Let me take you into a real moment. There was a young man named Jiro from Japan. He had been studying English for years. His grammar was great, his vocabulary strong, but still he didn't speak. Why? Because in his first year abroad, He once told a waitress at a cafe, "I want to eat you instead of I want to eat here." He meant well. He just mixed up here and you. The waitress laughed kindly. But Jiro, he felt crushed. For weeks, he avoided restaurants. He stopped practicing speaking. That one small mistake made him feel like he wasn't good enough to try again. But mistakes like that, they're part of the journey. They're not shameful. They're human. Think about how a child learns to walk. They fall over and over. But we don't say, "You failed." We smile and say, "Look, you're learning." Why do we treat language differently? Why do we expect perfection from ourselves when we're doing something so brave? Speaking a second language is not just a skill, it's courage in action. Jiro eventually returned to that same cafe. One day, he gathered his courage, walked up to the same waitress and said, "I'm back. And this time, I want to eat here, not eat you." They both laughed, and something amazing happened in that moment. The fear that had lived in his chest for months softened, because laughter didn't mean rejection, it meant connection. So what if we stopped running from our mistakes and started seeing them as proof that we're alive, trying, growing? You don't have to enjoy them, but you can stop fearing them. Every mistake you've made in English was a doorway, and the more you walk through, the wider your world becomes. So if today you mispronounce something, smile. If you forget a word, pause, breathe, try again. If someone corrects you, thank them, then move forward. Don't let the fear of mistakes rob you of your future voice. The people who grow the fastest are not the smartest, they're the ones who forgive themselves the quickest. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. In the next part, we'll explore how to build a daily habit of speaking, even if it's just 60 seconds a day. You'll see how small moments, repeated with love, change everything. But for now, remember this. Every time you mess up, you're one step closer to freedom. So go ahead, make that beautiful, human, learning-filled mistake, and then make the next one too. Let's talk about something simple and powerful. Practice, not the kind that makes you feel tired, stressed, or ashamed, but the kind that fits gently into your day. The kind that reminds you I'm growing, even when no one sees it. Because speaking English doesn't need to be a performance. It can be quiet, it can be personal, it can be just for you. Let me introduce you to a practice I call the 1-minute window. It started with a student named Dalia. Dalia lived in Egypt. She was a mother, a nurse, and someone who always said, "I don't have time to practice speaking." I believed her. Her life was full. So I asked her one thing: can you find just 1 minute a day, 1 minute to speak? She thought about it, then said, yes. While I wait for my tea to boil, that became her window. Every morning, while the kettle sang softly, Dalia would speak out loud in English, just for 60 seconds. No script, no pressure. She talked about her dreams, her worries, what she saw outside the window. Sometimes, she just repeated a sentence she loved. It didn't matter what she said. What mattered was, she spoke. Day by day, her voice grew stronger, not louder but braver, because small things done with love and consistency are never small. So I ask you, what's your 1-minute window? Is it while brushing your teeth, walking to work, waiting for your food to cook? Find that moment, claim it, make it yours, and then speak. It can sound like I'm learning today. I'm proud I'm trying. My voice matters. It can be questions. What did I enjoy yesterday? What do I need today? What would I say to a friend who feels afraid? These little moments are not about grammar. They're about building a relationship with your voice. Because your voice isn't a tool to be perfect. It's a bridge to connection. And the more you walk across that bridge, even when it feels shaky, the stronger it becomes. You don't need an audience. You don't need a stage. You just need a moment. That's how real progress begins. So, starting today, I hope you'll find your window. And when you do, don't just think in English. Speak in English, even if it's messy, even if it's soft, even if your heart beats a little faster, because every word is a step, and every step is a win. In our next part, we'll talk about how to handle those moments when your mind goes blank, when anxiety takes over, and you forget everything you've learned. We'll slow it down, we'll walk through it, and you'll see you're not powerless. But until then, I want you to remember, you don't need a classroom to speak English. You just need your voice and one quiet minute of courage. Let's talk about the moment that scares many learners the most. The blank mind. You know the one. You're speaking, and then suddenly, your thoughts disappear. The sentence fades, the word is gone, your heart races, your face gets warm, and you think, I knew this. Why can't I remember it now? That feeling can be overwhelming, but it doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Let me tell you about Amir. Amir was a lawyer from Jordan. He was confident in Arabic, sharp in debates, and kind in conversation. But in English, he would freeze mid-sentence. One time, during a client call, he completely blanked. He forgot how to say recommend. He stammered. The silence stretched. His client waited, and Amir felt the old fear return. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Later, he told me, I felt like my brain betrayed me. But here's what I asked him. What if your brain wasn't betraying you, but protecting you? See, when you feel nervous, your body enters survival mode. Your brain stops prioritizing memory and starts protecting you from danger, even if that danger is just a sentence. It's not because you don't know English, it's because your nervous system thinks you're unsafe. So what can we do in that moment? We slow down, not by forcing ourselves to be perfect, but by learning to breathe. Yes, breathe. When your mind goes blank, try this pause. Inhale slowly, exhale gently, then say something simple like, let me think. Give me a second. Sorry, I lost the word. It will come back. Because you're not broken for forgetting. You're just overwhelmed, and the best way to return is to relax. You can even practice blank moments ahead of time. Stand in front of a mirror, start a sentence, then stop, smile, breathe, say, let me try that again. You're teaching your brain that forgetting isn't dangerous. You're rewriting the fear, and over time, the blanks get smaller. Your recovery gets faster. Your voice gets steadier. Amir did this for months. He still forgets words sometimes, but now he laughs. He pauses. He finds another way to say it. Because real fluency isn't about never forgetting. It's about not giving up when you do. So the next time your mind goes blank, pause, smile, speak again. That's not failure. That's fluency in action. In the final part, we'll bring it all together, your courage, your story, your voice, and celebrate how far you've come. But for now, put your hand on your chest. Say gently, even when I forget, I'm still learning. Because you are. You made it here. That's not a small thing. You listened. You reflected. You stayed with yourself even when the topic got emotional or uncomfortable. That means something. So now, let's bring it all together. The fear, the shame, the silence, the courage, the voice. Your voice. Speaking English isn't just about words. It's about identity. Who you think you are, who you're afraid you're not, who you're learning to become. And all of that takes time. So if today you still feel a little afraid, good. It means you're still trying. It means your heart is still open. It means you care. And that's powerful. Let me tell you about the final message I received from Thomas, the man from Chile. We talked about earlier in this journey. He sent me a voice note. It started with, Hi, I don't know if my English is perfect, but today I spoke up in a meeting and I felt proud. I just wanted you to know. I didn't feel afraid. There was a long pause. Then he added, Thank you for helping me believe that I was enough before I was fluent. That's what I hope for you. To know this truth deep in your bones, you don't have to earn the right to speak. You already have it. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You already are. You don't need to wait for permission. You are the permission. So, as we close this series, here's what I want you to remember. Your voice is part of the world now. Every time you speak, you offer a piece of yourself. And that offering is beautiful because it's honest. Some days will still be hard. You might forget words. You might feel frustrated. You might want to hide. But don't. Come back. Come back to this voice, to this courage, to this quiet, gentle progress. English isn't the goal. Connection is. Confidence is. Self-love is. And all of that lives in your voice even when it shakes. So today, I want you to say something softly. Just for you, I am allowed to speak. I am allowed to grow. I am allowed to be proud of myself because you should be. I'm proud of you, your journey, your effort, your heart. Thank you for letting me be part of it here on Quick Fix English. If you ever feel afraid again, just come back to these words. Come back to yourself. You're never alone in this. Never were. Never will be.